What's up, guys? How's life? Oh, come on, let me connect. There we go. What's up, everybody? Thanks for popping in. Thanks for saying hi. We're about ready to run this thing through. I was just checking something in the nether real fast. But I think we're going to start moving more storage stuff over and working on that whole business. This and ooh. There we go. Get the wife and the brother on, so let's have some fun. Let's do it. Alright. I think I'm up. I think I'm running. I think everything's good. If you go through the nether portal that we've got over here, we have a pathway down there, and you can just go down and keep doing the tunnel system that we've got going.
I'm already clearing out a whole bunch right now.
Oh, okay. Breaky like it's buffering. Alright. Let's try something then. Give me a second. Alright. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. Yeah, that's something on YouTube's side. We're still trying to... So, there's something when it kicks in and starts, I have to completely shut down, close down OBS, and then reload it back up. So, I don't know why or what happens, but it does every once in a while. But, thankfully, with me doing this system of scheduling the live stream, I can actually completely shut down, close OBS, and bring it back up, and it works, so... Alright. Yeah, that'll be worked on today a little bit. Toss this back in here. Oh, I still have those, don't I? Alright.
I don't think you know what a Cinnabon looks like.
What do you mean?
Either that or it looks drastically different from the side than it does from the top or bottom.
Did you find one?
Got like end grain, like wood.
Sort
I
of.
think so. It's been a while since I've seen one.
They're kind of a pain in the ass to...
You're muted,
get.
Dave.
I am muted. What do you mean I don't know what a Cinnabon looks like? I know exactly what a Cinnabon.
Apparently it looks like cobblestone. Because I've gotten two ancient debris and they both look like cobblestone on the side when I pick them up.
Well,
So
yeah, the
different-
side,
different
but the
colored
front, they've
cobblestone.
got multiple sides to them, I guess. I don't know. I always thought they looked like a Cinnabon. Of course, I might be taking into account what a Cinnabon makes me do in the bathroom afterwards, so maybe that's part of it.
The actual Cinnabon is the after effect.
Comes out like cobblestone.
There we go.
So, Chris, how'd you like the this whole week of absolute insanity coming out of Wall Street? Did you join in on the GameStop message? YOLO money. Yeah. Not about the money, it's about sending a message.
The message is everything burns.
Burn it all. All right.
But as soon as you said that, I was actually standing in a puddle of lava.
Oh, that's no good.
Well, it was a temporary puddle of lava that I ran into. But doesn't do much damage, so. I can stay in the lava for a good
that's
20
some
minutes.
Shit, okay. Oh, you know what I should have grabbed?
These notes.
Got him. And this is why we're married. What did you do over here?
Me?
No, I'm talking to my brother.
Oh.
What do you mean? You mean the alien artifacts that I found?
Did you build these all the way up to build the build light? Ah, fact.
I mean, that's the way I found them.
Right. Yes.
What?
Found them.
You shitting on my RP?
I'm not shitting on anything. Alright, so I have 40 shulker boxes of random stuff.
Hey, you want to come watch blocks disappear and reappear rapidly over and over?
What? Where are you?
In the nether. Just strip mining. But my efficiency 5 just flies through this nether rack. But then like a third of it reappears if I go too fast. So I can actually already see what's behind it, but then it reappears and then I don't have to recarve it if I don't want to.
I might want to get in a little bit on that with you. What do you use for a wallet?
Again.
For yeah, I know. I'm talking to Chris.
Oh,
I was asking him.
sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. What do you use for your crypto wallet and all that stuff?
Yeah, I found 2 son of bins next to each other.
Nice. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that.
Trezor?
What was that? Oh, right there.
It's a hardware wallet. Okay. Trying to decide right now between a hardware and software wallet, of which would probably be better in the long. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do. Where is? Use something like Electrum. I found Coinbase wallet. Is that? Do you know anything about that? Long term, you'll want a hardware wallet. Just test stuff for like Electrum. Yeah, I was trying to figure out if there was a hardware wallet that I could drop on a Pi, if that would be the best way to do it. Coinbase is an exchange. They do have a wallet. I discovered that last night when I was digging through stuff. I thought I just had... Oh, you know what? I did. And I put it over there. Dagnabbit. Alright, well, for right now, we're just going to drop this stuff off here. Not your keys, not your crypto? I think they had an area where I could add in my own GPG for a key. God damn. Why doesn't you work? Power wallets keeps keys off internet and signs transactions on the device. Yeah. I need to go through, like...
That just happened.
I'm just trying to figure out for someone who, like my wife, that wants to do stuff in it, what the best way to go about this is going to be. Without making it a confusing mess. If that makes sense. One more. That should be all of them. Yep, that's all that I can. Yeah, we'll have to do that offline at some point, maybe sometime this week. Can you do multiple wallets? Like, say I'm going to use a Pi for a hardware. Can I do multiple, one for mine and one for her?
Right. Partially potty trained is awesome. Except for you still have to wipe their ass.
Yeah, but it's better than the alternative.
Better than diapers, but...
Probably want it air gapped. Yeah. Well, I used to be on top of all this shit. I see.
Hitting that stupid torch.
The other thing, I believe I have 2 pies. I could just set us each our own separate pie. With a treasure. I need to write this down and look this stuff up. That's simply what I get.
More lava, yay!
Single device, there's file private keys. Oh, okay. Treasure.
Just like dynamite everything.
Is that Treasure IO? Oh, yeah. No, we can chat on stream. Yeah, I don't mind chatting on stream. I definitely don't mind chatting on stream.
Come on.
That's kind of the way I run my stream, is I kind of treat it like a podcast, so... I mean, I am not that entertaining on my own to be running this thing, so... Oh, crap. Which one? One of these yellow ones is my...
There we go. Plant these up here. That's gonna need more potatoes.
Maybe not. What did I do with... if you jump into just waiting, I can get you into the live, or we can chat this way too. Either way works. So I'm not sure my brother wants to hear all about this either. What did I put? Did I lose my... I'm losing my head. I'm absolutely losing my mind.
What's wrong?
I think I misplaced one of my shulkers, but I don't know where.
What do I have in it?
A little extra stuff. I mean, I'll find it. I just have 40 shulkers that I'm transporting over.
Oh, hey, I made it to the top.
Here we go. Welcome, Chris.
Hello.
Everyone, this is my crypto expert.
What's
Grip-
up?
Hola.
I wouldn't call myself an expert. I literally just started doing this year, and I played with crypto like years ago. But
Yeah, well, you're 10 steps further than I am, so... Oh, here it is. Here's the one I was looking for. Okay. Hey, I found my shulker I was missing.
Oh, good.
but yeah, so like what I have to do crypto. Let's see, where's my keys? Right here. Yeah, I have one of those little Trezor things, and they're really useful because basically it keeps all of your private keys, which is essentially what means your crypto belongs to you offline. So you want to keep those as offline as possible. So essentially what happens is when you decide you actually want to send a transaction, you create the transaction on your computer, it sends it to the Trezor, it signs it using the private keys, and then it sends it back to your computer, and then it gets broadcast out over the network.
Yeah, I was looking at that. How much are the devices?
The Trezor was like $60 on Amazon. It's not very expensive when you consider it. I mean, when you consider it, depending on like how much crypto you buy, it can really save your bacon in the case where like your computer gets hacked or you get a virus or whatever, and all of a sudden you're sitting with no crypto.
Yeah, so it keeps it off on itself that way.
Yeah, it's offline. It's not on the internet. Your private keys are never exposed that way. So yeah. So I don't use the Trezor website. They have a wallet that you can sort of use on their website. I actually Electrum has support for hardware wallets built in. So
Okay.
I use Electrum on my computer, and I'm in the process of setting up an Electrum private server, so I don't have to trust even the Electrum servers, because Electrum is what's called sort of a live. It's sort of like a service. It's a peer-to-peer network in and of itself, where all these other Electrum servers essentially keep the whole copy of the blockchain, and when you want to transmit your sort of transactions, you transmit it to one of their servers, and then they transmit it out to the blockchain. But you can also run like your own server, and that's what I'm doing with my Raspberry Pi at some point here, is I'll run an Electrum private server, and then I just connect to my Electrum private server from my Electrum client on my computer, and then all my transactions are done on my own copy of the blockchain and transmitted. So, because I have a full node that's fully synced now. Actually, I have two full nodes. I have my PC has a full node running, and my Raspberry Pi now. I copied the full node files over, so onto like a 4 terabyte drive. So.
Gotcha.
Didn't need to be a 4 terabyte drive. It's only like 300 gigabytes or something right now for the full blockchain. And you don't have to do that to use Electrum. Electrum you can very easily use without a full node. which is one of the reasons why I picked it. Was it sort of gives you redundancy for accessing your crypto.
Yeah.
And the other nice thing about Electrum versus something like Trezor or their Trezor website is, like, if you just want to like check your balances, or if you only want to send crypto to your device and you don't necessarily want to like send crypto to other people, with Electrum you can create what's called a watching wallet, and you can look at that wallet without actually even like having your Trezor plugged in. So you can look at your balances and things like that by just with a watching thing. It's really nice.
Cool. Some components. I want to run for. Oh, no, not glowstone. I need to find another brew. How many breweries do we have? Or potion brewers?
I have one in here, and Shua's got one.
Oh, nice. That did that database transform really fast.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that for the database transforms. That's super nice. That was way faster than you can do that in native Python.
Nothing's faster than native Python.
And you would be surprised what you can do with
Oh no, I know.
properly optimized SQL running on a this kind of computer. So
I love
yeah,
it though.
I'm playing with Timescale DB,
Yeah.
which is based on Postgres, which is an open source database software, and I've essentially imported a month worth of data into from a historical downloader that I designed at 1 minute resolution, and then I recreated a view of that at an hourly resolution. So I can look at the data from the last month of Bitcoin prices on Coinbase at an hourly resolution. So instead of a by minute resolution, just using the base by minute data, and then I can and then the other neat thing about this is I can import all of the data from like the last year and look at it at whatever resolution I want, and cut all the data apart. So that's what I'm playing with right now, because I don't do enough programming at work apparently.
I know how that goes. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though.
No, it's not bad to play with this stuff. I've used Postgres in a work environment before. So I used it when I worked at a company in Fort Wayne professionally, but I never really played with the actual database stuff or any of the queries with it, so I didn't know a ton of it. So. Better this way. Now, what happens if I rerun this? Does it just recreate the materialized view? I have to drop it first.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Okay, yeah, that drops it. Let's go
Barrel.
I regret cooking all those fish that I caught.
Fish.
Yeah, you got any other questions?
Not yet, not really. When it comes time to setting it up, I might come pick your brain a little bit more.
Okay.
I was just kind of generally curious.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just trying
Yeah,
to...
That's what I use for my crypto now. Before, I was using my private keys just on my computer, sort of for my first go-round with Electrum, and that's sort of like the easiest way to get set up. You can just set that up, like, relatively easily, but it's not, like, generally the most secure.
Yeah. I'm trying to... There's secure, and then there's ease, because if I make it tough enough, or if I have to jump, I'm lazy. I'm a lazy piece of shit. So if I have to jump through too many hoops, I'm not gonna do it. I've learned that about myself.
Yeah, the Trezor stuff's like super easy. At least with Electrum, it makes it super easy to set it up. It's not complicated at all, as far as I'm concerned. There are lots of more complicated ways to do it that are quote-unquote more secure even. Like the Raspberry Pi thing, it's more secure. You don't really want the Raspberry Pi to be like an always online type device if you're doing that, so you do what's called air gapping it, but setting up an air gapped Raspberry Pi is the most pain in the butt thing you could possibly do. Like, actually, because it's not designed to be offline like that. It's designed to be an always online device, so it's just a pain. So I don't find that particularly worth it. Whereas something like the Trezor, you buy one for $60, and you can have multiple wallets on a single Trezor. If you wanted that kind of thing, you can set it up to have multiple wallets signed with different private keys, because the Trezor can store multiple different private keys. It also supports a whole bunch of different cryptos. But yeah, it's probably the easiest way to do it in the most secure way possible. So.
All right.
Hey, do you have the ability to turn the render distance down on this?
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering if that's part of our problem. Because I can see really far, and it is really laggy.
You turn down the chunks, how many chunks you load.
Well, simulation distance is 8 chunks, but the render distance... Where's my render distance?
Still internal. I don't know how to change on the phone.
No, that's a server render, or that's a server thing, I think.
There's a slider that you can just move it on your phone locally that affects how well the game runs locally.
I don't remember how to do this.
Do you have like a 30-second stream delay?
It's not 30. It shouldn't be 30 seconds. It should be around 10.
So we're going to turn down the delay on the server.
Right?
Is it just me, or is it you guys too?
I've always been able to see far, but it's never really...
Is it, like, I mean, is it really laggy for you?
Pretty laggy right now.
It kind of comes and goes. Once Trident gets back, I can yell at him. I mean, ask him to change it. Maybe it needs a reboot. I don't know.
I'm going to be leaving the nether here in a minute, so maybe despawning everything that's down here.
Maybe.
Not a bad haul. Got a 16.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to do batching for this.
Chunky.
You want me to help you sort stuff out? I forgot that we're doing that.
Well, okay, so I've already established out on one side. We've got bone meal, whatever, that kind of stuff. And then we've got anything that has to do with trees, so wood and all that. Then fish, so
Okay.
cooked and non-food. Building blocks that don't fit anywhere else. Redstone, armor and weapons, and books. So now if you do the equivalent of a right click, so not like
So now all these are
they're all open for, I haven't put anything in them yet. I've just,
trees and wood and stuff.
yep. And then if you click the arrow in the circle, I want to see what it does when you try it. There you go. Yeah, it's pretty laggy. So then that switches out to fishies.
Cool. I've got tons of fish.
Yeah, no. So that's, I've got 8 categories set up now, and then we can figure out the rest later or something.
Okay. If we put item frames on these, will it fall off when they switch?
You do not put item frames on those, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. What did I do? Oh my lord, I can't remember who to do it. Okay, well,
So that's this system. I got half of it done. I don't know what we're doing on the other side of it yet, but we'll figure that out too. But then all of
do you
these...
wanna do food and stuff?
Huh?
You wanna do food on the other side? Because I have almost a full shulker full. Well, no, I have half a shulker.
I have-
Shulker of bread.
I have, if we want to go down to the carrot, that was supposed to be for food.
Okay.
So we've got
Cool.
5 single chests. You can put them in shulkers and put shulkers in chests.
Oh,
So
that's
if we
true.
start running out of space, I mean,
Yeah.
I have a bunch of empty shulkers. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do real quick. Do this.
There's on my name tag that says Lord Buzzy Ass the Third.
Let me grab a stack. This, and to make a barrel. Oh, it sticks in. Oh, okay. It
Sticks and
sticks in
stones?
slabs.
Oof. Alright, I got a bunch of tree saplings that I can bring over.
But yeah, with that trees, we can do any type of wood objects. It doesn't have to necessarily just be tree saplings. We can do all the woods that are not done up in the main, which I think is only sticks, right? Uh-oh. Oh no, I did logs. So there's logs over here and sticks. But any other wood stuff we can do over there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you got logs. So yeah. Like trapdoors and stuff we could do. Oh yay, it's raining now.
Did you fall to get back home, bro? Or did you okay?
So I'll come back home.
Okay, so what do I have? Let's do
There we go. And these barrels in the middle of the floor,
yeah.
I'm putting empty shulkers in them.
Did I just break it? Oh, there it goes.
No, it just takes a minute to get over there. And then you got wood to correspond over, so yeah.
Cool.
It should work quite nicely.
Alright, there's saplings in that one. Regular seeds in here. There you go. Sweet. The barrels are what?
The barrels hold...
Empty
Huh?
shulkers.
Empty
Empty
shul-
shulkers.
Yep.
Cool.
Make it easy.
We could put redstone stuff in there.
There's a redstone section.
Oh, that. I mean, for like redstone components.
Yeah, that's what the redstone section's for.
Okay, cool.
There's a picture of a comparator down the bottom left in the item frame.
Okay,
So
cool.
point it toward that, and you get. Yep.
What's in here? There's 2 more empty shulkers that I shall bring over. How about beds? I have like a double chest almost full of beds.
Why do we? Never mind.
Because when I tore down the old village, that's why I went to bed. Or I can bring carpet over too.
Yeah, I need to build the wool and. All right, so the next one that we want to build is going to have.
Like wool and crafting supplies and stuff.
Yep.
I have 2 empty shulkers that I can donate to the cause.
So we wanted.
Is books like all the magic books?
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm gonna bring those over. Because those are a pain in the ass to sort through. I don't even know. Well, maybe not, because I need to sort them out.
Well, yeah, you just throw them in there for now. I mean, it's.
Because I have almost 2 double chests full of them.
Of books?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, we want seed stuff at some point. All of our seed.
So it's not like
Well, here's dyes that we can do.
oh yeah, I got dyes too.
Yep. I'm just building up the next. We can do.
Got a bunch of terracotta too.
Jeez, that was fast.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna combine end and. Well, no, because we start dismantling more stuff in the end. We'll have more.
Yeah.
Terracotta. Actually, we'll just make it a whole desert and mesa, because then we can put all the chiseled sandstone and that stuff in there as well.
Yeah. What about like weapons or bows and
that? I figure we could put with the horse armor. There's a horse armor
okay.
one that's already there. I figure that would be weapons and armor.
Sounds good. I think I have some diamond horse armor somewhere. I'll find it.
We already have a general building material.
Hey, bro, do you know if they got school canceled tomorrow or not?
I haven't heard anything yet. Oh, we do want a whole nether section. Yes.
If it's still on, can I ride with you?
Yeah, definitely.
Sweet.
We got a whole nether section.
That'd be cool because there's like a stack of weeping obsidian over here.
Yep. So that's 1, 2, 3. So I get one more. We already have a brew house, so we don't need a brewery one. Oh, we probably want stained glass, other types of stained glass.
Oh yeah, I've got orange over here.
All right, and that's makes 8, or other glass that doesn't fit just in the plain glass that we already have the big one for. All right, now I need to come up with. Yeah, that's not good.
Okay, I'm up for a bit. I gotta stand up.
All right, bro. Use some moss for that, and then placeholder die.
Do you think if I sent like 3,000 some packets in a ping and got 0 response that site might be down?
Yeah, I would safely assume yes.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good indication that site doesn't exist.
What's going on, fat kid? How you doing, man?
Not too much. I just wanted to, pop in and say hi and abuse my fact that I don't have to have anyone drag me down now.
Welcome to full mod status across the board.
Such a bad idea. I don't even know what you're doing with your life, but I mean, look at everything else going on. You don't either.
I would ask what's that supposed to mean, but I don't think I really want to know. Prism.
Table views. Yay.
I'm still upset that they just completely porked AFK fish.
Yeah, it's pretty much gone now, isn't it?
Although I think I might have saw that someone did some sort of data pack to bring it back.
I thought about getting into the data packs for this thing. That requires me learning JavaScript. I don't know.
Oops.
But yeah, just the fact that across the board, AFK fishing is just borked is so sad.
Oops, I missed this one. Derp.
You know what? I want. This. Perfect. All right. So I got the other side kind of set up.
Okay.
We've got all other glass, nether, wool, the prismarine, which will be anything that has to do with temples, sea lanterns, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Seeds, dyes, and desert and mesa.
Oh, over there. Shit, I put them in with the trees. I'll fix it in a bit.
Oh, that's supposed to be for wood and trees.
Sorry, I thought it was growy things.
Eh. Either or. And then, since you love doing the, you love sorting stuff so much,
Yeah.
I want to show you my other project.
You have 500
Over here.
shulkers.
So, see these 40 shulkers?
God.
This is all the random stuff
Alright.
from my
Let me
old
finish-
base.
Let me
No, I'm
finish
not saying,
this
like,
other
do it
shulker.
now, do it now. I'm just saying it's,
Alright. I will, because I actually do enjoy doing that. But
I'm not saying you have to do it right now. I'm just
Every-
saying have fun.
3 double chests full of fucking fish over here I'm bringing over, so. Alright, now that's gone. Well, don't eat the fish. What the?
I gotta figure out what my brother's doing. Up to weird looking.
What?
Hang on, I'll show you in a second. It's a bit strange. There's still more stuff. Is there anything in these? Or did I get all this out?
Fish.
I think I got all that.
I don't think there's anything in those.
Oh, except for this.
Glass.
That's fun. The MESEC spot tells you when people leave.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Tools.
Is it only telling you when someone leaves?
The welcome shows when people show up.
Ah.
Oh, look. More.
Yeah, I was like, man, this could either be really good or it could just be like some sort of bad depression.
I just end up looking at it and being like, peace.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Later. Meepin.
I have enough people that actually enjoy hanging out that it's fine. People are gonna come, people are gonna go. It's just part of life.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother took down the pyramid, and then he put these weird things, and I asked him what they were, and he was like, "Oh, the alien artifacts." So I don't know what he's doing.
I'll be back.
Okay, I need it.
All made out of wool.
It's all wool.
It's all wool.
Always has been.
Oh, the secret's out of here.
Although, it's not the craziest thing that he's built out of wool.
It's a monolith.
Yeah, he built these monoliths. He's calling them alien artifacts, but he didn't go into any more explanation other than that. The biggest thing he ever did out of wool was the giant ducky. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. So this wool platform.
Concrete.
Wait, did he? Oh no, there it is.
Is any of this using like world edit or are you manually?
Nope. This was all survival,
Oh my.
which means he needed to shear all of the sheep for this goddamn thing.
Oh my.
Let me get up to the platform.
Yeah, the video has you flying there currently.
Yeah, he built this thing for a map. Or more specifically, 6 maps so that I could show it off. But yeah, he did this. Every single one of those little the square blocks is a chunk.
Oh my. That is quite insane. The amount of time people devote to playing Minecraft will never cease to amaze me.
I mean, there are worse games to devote time playing.
I mean, yeah, this is true, but like, it'll never cease to amaze me how much time people devote to playing Minecraft. It's all insane to me.
I find it more amazing that so many people watch Minecraft.
Yeah, that too. It's the type of thing I put on in the background and then go code or something. Now that makes that all. I'm trying to figure out where that actually lives.
Alright, well, I ran out of rockets.
We've got the fuse, and then we've got the trigger aggregates, but I don't know where those aggregates actually live. Huh. Because I did that, I added the continuous aggregate policy. I mean, my database VM is only using 3 gigs of RAM. It's not big deal.
Nah, it's not bad.
Nah, that's not bad at all. Not considering I loaded like a year's worth of data into it. So.
Nope, that's not it. Am, however, you said you had rockets in here somewhere, right?
Me?
Yep.
They are in my they're in my ender chest.
Is there a way that I can get a couple of them?
Yes. They are in here, actually.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I may have run out.
Whoops.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Could be raining.
It was a minute ago.
Could be worse. Could be raining. Alright, so weapons and armor goes in with horse armor. Do we have anything for fishing stuff, or can that just go in with horse armor too?
I figured that would go in with the fish.
Okay, because I got a lot of fishing poles. A lot of fishing poles. Like, look of the sea, unbreaking lure, mending fishing poles. I just keep combining them, and so now I have tons of.
I mean, we can. There isn't like a specific how these things have to go. I just kind of gave general guidelines. As long as we can remember where stuff is, it'll be fine.
Yeah. That's.
If that makes sense.
Yep. Helmets.
Alright, good. I did mute myself.
You did this time.
This time, yeah. Luckily, there's usually not embarrassing yelling or anything going on in my house.
No, just the occasional of your girl cackling in the background.
That happens way less now.
It has been happening a lot less. I didn't know if we were just doing less stuff together or if it was just, not noticing it anymore.
Well, of course, this time I heard it. You guys don't think that she's across the apartment now instead of being pretty much right next to my desk.
Gotcha.
Like before, my desk was in the dining room, and like the living room was literally like 3 feet away.
Hey, you want to do Warzone tomorrow night?
Sure. Maybe. Depend on where I get on my lab that's due on Tuesday, Tuesday. But I haven't started yet because I'm really fucking lazy.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. You can't really do an assignment in the last like 3 hours it's due. You probably don't deserve to be in a computer science degree. Just saying. Like,
Are you getting a computer science degree?
Yeah. Now I've finished my bachelor's. I'm working on a master's now because I'm weird.
I considered doing that. It was basically what I was going to do if I hadn't gotten the job I got when I got it. So.
Yeah, I applied for a grad school assignment. So basically and got it, so I don't have tuition or I pay like, I don't know, like $400 in tuition, I think, plus fees. A semester, so, or a quarter. And like I have like TA hours that'll cover the rest of it plus a bunch. So it's fine. And so that was the point where it's like, well, I continue school and not have to pay for anything, so cool.
Are you in Fort Wayne or?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I met him from a PUBG game, actually.
His quad got crushed by me, even though I'm horrible.
So, where are you going to school then? If you don't mind.
Man, I'd rather not really talk about it.
That's fine.
Unnamed university.
Yeah.
Unnamed university for computer science.
Even if I went pretty generic, it'd be really easy to figure out where I'm at, so. That's right. I try not to do that. Although I had an interesting interaction the other day because I was looking at someone posted like a selfie in a different Discord, and they like blacked out part of the picture because it was like their service picture, so they're in uniform.
Yeah.
I was like, so clearly they don't want people to know where they're at. But I was looking at it and I'm like, but they have a state flag behind me and they didn't black out their badge. So I sent them a message being like, hey, if you want this to be, information you don't release, you might want to think about this, because I'm pretty sure I know exactly where you're at.
Yeah.
It's like, and I didn't tell them specifically I knew where they're at, but I was like, yeah, I did mention, departments tend to have like, Facebook pages where they have staff photos, so it's really easy with basic information on Google search to figure out who you are and where you're at, so.
Yeah.
If someone wants to actually like dox you or try to get you in trouble at work, they could do that.
I'm not exactly the hardest person to find.
Yeah, neither am I.
People know where I'm at. People can easily find my name associated to my nickname, so it's not like it's a big deal.
That, and you've openly discussed nearby restaurants on stream. So.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
I literally have a website that's my last name and my first two initials .com. It's like meant as like a resume thing, and I don't know if you could tie that back because I do have like the who
Hey,
is
what's
data
going on, man?
all obscured.
Private.
I don't know if you could tie that back to. I don't know if you could tie that back to my actual like alias or not. But like I've mentioned on Reddit using an alias that's very similar to the one I have on Discord, like multiple times, personal things about myself. So you could probably tie it back eventually. So
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not too terribly worried about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I've shared my personal website or not, but it does have my last name on it.
I don't think you have. I think the only person, I mean, I know only because I'm sending you something. But I'm also smart enough not to try not to use people's names or anything that could identify them.
oh, my name on YouTube is literally my name.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
Oh, I think I've at least chatted some in one of the chats with my full name account
Probably.
before I switched back out to my Twitch Gmail.
I'm not terribly worried about it. I mean, I'm sure someone could make life hard for me, but
And as far as
I'm
that
not
data
super
being
worried
on
about it.
YouTube, as far as that data being on YouTube, I literally work at Google, so
That's
Like,
it, too.
You potentially have access to more information about me than I do, so.
I have access to more than I would rather admit on stream, considering the part of YouTube that I work on, or not the part of YouTube, but well, something I work on is a back end of YouTube that does have to do with personal information.
yeah, but every time I yell at you about something YouTube's doing, you just shrug and say, "Not my area."
It is YouTube though. YouTube's like their own company. YouTube is like completely separate from so much of Google.
Not
So
my
many-
area.
Except for all the data they just send to a Google server.
Well, I mean, like all of like the main data and profile data is all backed by Google storage. Although they are separating that some.
Didn't they have to separate a lot of it for reasons?
No, they actually like merged it back in the G Plus days, and then they're slowly unmerging it.
Ah, Google Plus. Those were the days.
I don't think I'd ever really want to work to Google, but I also don't want to work for any, like, you know, Bang or anything.
Mm,
Well, I like money. so-
That's fair.
I'm not gonna lie about it.
I'm not here for an ideological reason. I like money.
Well, if I
Honestly,
did, more than likely, like, I'd consider it for like a year or two, just to be like, I'd end up
Been there,
having to
done
live out
that.
of a car or something and save some money.
The places that I've taken interviews from, I probably would never want to work there anyway, but it's like, man, this would be nice on a resume.
yeah, it's great for my resume. I'm considering a move this year, but we'll see.
I don't think I would have been very happy working at Facebook.
No, I get messages from recruiters at Facebook to work on their
What?
infrastructure team all the time, and those are like them and Amazon are the two companies that I pretty much ignore.
Although Google did tick me off pretty badly.
What did we do this
No,
time?
not you. Shut up.
I heard the assistant in the background go, okay.
Yeah. No, because I did two interviews, like two phone interviews, and then they were going to kind of forward me on or whatever to go up to the next level to actually travel. I think it was San Francisco. And they called me back and they said, hey, we didn't, because they had actively recruiting me when I was doing all that work with Ubuntu to go work on Kubuntu.
Oh yeah.
And
It's not called that anymore, but yeah.
well, this was back when it was still, yeah. Anyway,
They changed it
Back before you were born.
no, so they contacted me back and it said, hey, we never got your education information. And so I told them that I didn't go to college. And their response was, oh, okay. And then I got an email the next day that said, the position you are applying for has been filled by someone else. And I was like, I never applied. You guys came to me.
Yeah, they're getting a lot better about that.
I was a little on the ticked off side because I was like, man, don't come recruit me and then tell me I'm not good enough. Obviously, I was good enough up until that point. And then I moved to Indiana.
Where no one works.
Where careers go to die. That's like the reason why I left Indiana. Was I was like, okay, there are like 5 different companies I can work for here, and I'm being offered a 50% pay raise for the first year, and it got better after that. So it's like, yeah, this is not worth staying.
Oh no, it did work.
And
Yeah, luckily, although I live in a fairly small city, like we have like a big push of technology companies moving in right now. So hopefully by the time I'm actually looking for work, there'll be something local because I don't really want to go anywhere. Or there'll be access to just enough remote jobs. We'll see.
I'm hoping remote jobs get more popular.
I have a
We've been
feeling
doing
that
for the last
it's
year, and
it's
there's
going to
no
be
reason
very
why it
difficult for companies to go, we understand you've been working remote for the last year, but your job
For a
can no
lot of
longer
you,
be
it's been much
done
better.
remotely. Because that was the
It's actually been more efficient.
yeah, that was the big excuse was your job just can't be done remotely. Well, we kind of proved that otherwise.
Yeah, that's been proved 100% entirely false.
So now they're gonna have to come up with a
I've
new
been talking with-
excuse.
People were like in like the therapy field and stuff like that, where they've been pushing to do more and more remote stuff because there's the security for it now. And like until COVID, it wasn't like, oh no, we can't do that, we can't afford to do that. And then once COVID hit, it's like they had to do it or just close doors. So all of a sudden, you're now doing remote like therapy and everything.
Remote therapy's been a thing even before COVID. Like there was a service called Talkspace that did it.
Oh,
pretty
it was a
recently.
thing, but all private
Yeah.
company. Like, if you worked as anything in the public industry where you had to deal with a bunch of like federal law or federal funds, they pretty much
Okay.
restricted it. So most of the time, it couldn't be anything that involved with like insurance or anything like that.
Talkspace was covered by my insurance, but that's because I have really good insurance from a pretty
That-
forward-looking company. So that I think was actually an investor in Talkspace at one point or another. So these things sort of just happen this way.
Weird. It's like I'm making money off of Talkspace. I'm gonna suggest that people use it.
Well, the only way I really make money is if Google's stock price goes up.
All right, buy and hold, boys. Buy and hold.
Yeah, there's a little more volume with Google stock than there is with GameStop. Also, there's not a huge number of companies that are shorting it right. There aren't a huge number of hedge funds that are shorting Google right now.
I still think that was one of the funniest things that could have ever happened. And then they all cried about it.
Except the problem is when they did that, it affected the whole market. Like everybody had stocks go down on Friday, You're down on Wednesday because of it. So, like, Google lost like $60-$70 on Wednesday because of that crap.
And it'll
It's probably
rebound
not
back
likely to
up.
be long-term effect. Yeah.
No, it's not gonna be long term. That's a very short viewpoint, and
Like I've heard some people being like, people's like retirement funds are being affected. I'm like, that's definitely
on a
not
short
long-term.
term, yes. On a long term, not really. With investing, if you're not gonna play the day trading game, which I don't recommend to anybody, if you're not gonna play the day trading game, you know, you're not gonna be affected by these day-to-day little things like GameStop and that. So, and game stonks. But it'll be interesting because I think, yeah, our Q4 earnings call will be next week.
Hey, babe, I'm putting in the building one, you know, with the stair. That's I'm also
Yeah.
putting the concrete powder and concrete extra that I had.
Okay.
I mean, this thing won't fix necessarily everything, but
No.
it's doing pretty good. There's a lot of categories that a lot of this stuff can fit into.
Funny. one of the people also asked questions when you look for their earnings call. Is Google profitable? And I'm like,
Not yet, but we're hoping to. One of these
No,
days we'll move out of the basement and we'll get profitable. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, the earnings call is on the 2nd of February, so it's Tuesday. Yep. We will know how much money I make then.
So does your pay doesn't get balanced off that, does it?
No, they do a share. I get my shares issued yearly, basically, and then they sort of vest over the course of about 4 years. I get like a grant, and then they divide that by the Google stock price, and then I get that many shares spread out over like 4 years or whatever. So. No, they don't like they don't do what Amazon does, and like if the stock price goes up, you get less shares in your refreshers. They don't play that game. So to try
Oh,
to
that's good.
balance your pay, to try to like balance your pay and keep it more even. No, they're just like, yeah, you earned this much, we're gonna give you this much in refreshers, and then what the stock price does, the stock price does.
The stock price.
Google stonks.
Oh crap.
And I always say that I'm gonna hold more Google stock, and then I never do. And I just sell it and then reinvest it, but I never do.
There's nothing wrong with that necessarily, is there?
No, I mean, I would have done better had I held like a share for every grant I got, like every month or something like that, rather than selling all of it and reinvesting it. Like, rather than doing like 10% returns or whatever, I probably would have had more like 50% returns. I'm less exposed to Google's actual day-to-day stock price that way, which is better. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to play it. So. Let's see, what did crypto do today as far as prices? Down. No. Bad. Bad crypto.
It'll fluctuate. God.
Yeah, it has some pretty bad candlesticks in the last 10 minutes. It went from over 33,000 to 32,500 in the last 5 minutes. It's not been great today. Bad day for it. It's down overall. It's up over like 37 yesterday, so that's why I was looking. There was a huge bump yesterday on like an hourly candlestick at like 3 a.m. I wonder if that was when Elon tweeted about it or changed his status. but like suddenly it went from, you know, around where it is now at 32,000 and pumped to like 36. So it's a little crazy.
Oh, we still having our some patchy freezing drizzle possible.
Fun.
Yeah.
Got like 8 inches of snow overnight,
Ouch.
which was pretty much the first snow we've had all year. We had like a dusting, but
First snow we've had in like 5 years.
yeah.
Let's see, it's 69 nice Fahrenheit right now.
You still down in
I'm down in Florida. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice Fahrenheit right now. It hasn't been under 60 in weeks. Second English, I'm happy with that. Now, I really am curious about what happens when I turn that Docker container off and then turn it back on again. I would like to know. I'm pretty sure it all gets saved, but... Anyways, is shut down. Should show offline then from here. Yep. Won't connect right now. And then if we run it. The fastest VM boot in the West. Ridiculous. Yep. And all my aggregates are still there. Cool. Now I just need to write the code that updates this continuously.
You're writing a something for crypto monitoring, right?
Yep. Sort of my own sort of front end for doing trading and stuff like that, and then doing algorithmic trading against that. So
That's something you're just
I
using for
imported-
yourself, or are you gonna open it up?
I don't know. Depends. It's honestly running a exchange type thing where other people could use it is sort of spooky stuff. But I've thought about it. Like that would be kind of an interesting business to run. But like I've got the code right now is all open source.
No, I was that's what I was asking. I wasn't asking if you were running it full exchange or if it was like if I wanted to use it or someone else.
Oh yeah.
Would they be able to
No,
use this thing?
No, it's all open source software that it's all based on. Yeah, so if other people wanted to use the code that I'm using to build up this stuff, yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna handle like a database connection for it or whatever, because that always tends to be kind of specific to your actual implementation. So right now that's all in sort of a implementation folder that doesn't get committed, but all of the background code that I'm using to connect and download all the data and everything is all open source. It's MIT licensed and everything. Did it right.
The MIT license.
It's it's like the best open source license if you just really don't care about how your software gets used. So.
At some point, I should probably look at the YouTube license for my videos. Find out exactly what it says.
You're allowed to set different licenses, I think. With YouTube.
Yeah, I've been using the YouTube license, but that's why I said I should probably look it up at some point and figure out exactly what it says, so I know if I want to use that, if I want to use, I don't know. I have a feeling it's better than a Creative Commons license for what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know how, like, default. I don't think with unlicensed. I think like nobody can use it unless they specifically ask you and you grant them like a sole use license or something like that.
Yeah.
That's sort of like the default. And then like, Creative Commons share alike or something like that is what's generally used if you like want to be able to let other people use it without asking you first. But,
Yeah,
like, then they also have to share it with the same license. Like, that's the rule. Is like with
Yeah.
share alike, it creates like a viral license where you have to use the same license. Whereas MIT is very permissive and mostly for software. And it basically means you're allowed to use it, but you have to include the license, and it doesn't have a warranty, which are the two main things you want to have. Like, it issues no liability to the author. There's no warranty, but you're allowed to use it. You can use it commercially. You can modify it, but if you distribute it, it has to be distributed with the license, so you get your data along with it.
Oh yeah, no, I remember all those fun licenses. So a lot of the stuff I did, we used a lot of Creative Commons license. Well, I'm not sure what they use over on Ubuntu side anymore. I know there was a big uproar over licenses stuff, but that was after my time.
I think they have their own. Don't they have their?
I think they've got their own developers license thing that they put together that pissed a bunch of people off.
Yeah, and the big thing is because they rely so much on GPL stuff, it's pretty derivative of GPL.
Yeah, there's a lot of GPL in there. A lot of GPL, a lot of LGPL.
A lot of what they distribute is GPL code, so they have to distribute it as GPL code and distribute the source code of anything that uses it because of GPL.
It was just, there was a lot of angry people for whatever reason. I know when they started doing their own license for stuff that you would build for Canonical, like Canonical ended up doing some sort of a they did some sort of their own license thing that I guess scared a bunch of people.
Yeah, I think some of like the Snap stuff is licensed slightly differently from GPL.
Yeah. And I think the developers didn't like it because it gave Canonical access to it, and anytime you have a company involved with anything in open source, you have everybody and their brothers screaming that it's a hostile takeover.
Yeah, anytime anybody tries to do like anything with a lawyer involved in open source, it always turns into a screaming match between people on the internet who aren't really informed about how any of it works.
Yep.
And anytime you change anything, it's the same sort of deal.
Oh yeah.
But it seems like Ubuntu itself is mostly free as in freedom software, and that's probably because they base so much of it on Debian that like they can't really it's very hard to un-GPL code. Like the license is pretty airtight. Thank you, Thank you, Stallman. So,
Yeah, it's pretty good for the most part. I mean, I haven't really messed with anything on that side of the world in a long time, with the exception of some small server stuff.
yeah.
I mean, I'll probably never run it on the desktop again.
Ubuntu probably not for me.
Linux in general, I probably will never run on a desktop again.
Although actually I do run Ubuntu on my laptop right now. Oh, that's right. I have Ubuntu Mate on my laptop. Because I wanted something simple and easy to use, and didn't want to go through the trouble of trying to relicense Windows for it. And honestly, Windows on laptops has never been my favorite thing. So. Desktops is fine. Laptops have just always had problems.
Oh, wait. I think it's right?
Yeah, but as far as all my Bitcoin trading stuff, my Coinbase API directly is that, and then sort of the more multi-exchange thing is this.
All right,
I've only implemented one exchange with it right now.
I'll take a look at that in a bit. All
I
right.
haven't released Zcoins yet, but Zcoinbase I've done a few releases of. So.
What's up, sweetie?
TNT.
Dynamite. Yes.
Where should that go?
Let's put that in the desert run.
Okay. Oh, that's
Because that's the
That might
cactuses. That's desert and mesas. Because the best place to actually, well, you can find it in the wild, in the desert temples.
Okay. What about like kelp and stuff?
That I don't know what Maybe we should just throw that over, because you have a kelp farm, right?
Yeah, throw it over there.
Just throw it over there, and we'll build a kelp silo.
Okay. Sounds good.
But yeah, my goal with like rolling my own APIs to interact with the REST API stuff was more to learn things than it was to like write anything that anybody else would actually use.
Yeah, you just
Like they're already.
you wanted to learn how to use the system, and you figured, well, I'll just do it this way, and that way I'll learn and have something usable at the end.
Yeah. So,
I've always
already,
thought that
like,
was
a-
the best way of learning programming instead of a hello world.
yeah. So,
When I
wanna-
was teaching a class on teaching kids Java, we would have them write small basic Minecraft mods. Because then they could see the real world application of what they were writing and be able to interact with it instantly. And we found that it really got them engaged in what they were doing.
Yeah, that is a good way to get engaged with this kind of stuff. But yeah, for me it was like, okay, I want to learn how to consume a REST API and write Python. Because I hadn't really written that much Python before I did this project. So, and before I embarked on this. So I wanted to learn some Python stuff so I could, maybe get a job in data analysis or something like that was sort of the idea. And Python is sort of the lingua franca of data analysts.
Yep.
So I just figured, okay, I'll learn how to do this, and I'll, do something that lets me interact with a data source in a way that, real life data people might actually appreciate. And it's like, well, if you're gonna put it on GitHub, you've got to license it, so you just slap an MIT license on it. People can use it if they want to.
turn this thing faster. Thing should melt now.
I was like, I didn't really want anything as restrictive as like GPL because there are things I wanted to build that wouldn't have been compatible with GPL. So, like if I build any like trading platform stuff on top of it or anything like that, I don't necessarily want that licensed GPL because I was like, well, that actually I might want to keep private. So
Yeah, that's open source is great. Open source isn't for everything.
yeah. So if I wanted to do any GPL, if I wanted to do any kind of like, you know, trading algorithms or whatever and design my own rules and things like that for trading, I didn't necessarily want to be bound by GPL for that.
No, that's stuff that if it works really well, you can sell for a lot of money or license.
Or just, you know, make money because you know something that somebody else doesn't.
Well, there's that too.
You know, well, especially with trading algorithms, that's sort of how that stuff works. You know. Yeah, I wanted the freedom that MIT gave me over GPL to do my own commercial work with it. So.
This base has been good, but it's time for it to go away.
Oh, you tearing your old base down?
Yup, we're gonna have a whole lot of white stained glass.
Nice.
Actually, I should have went and got a bunch of shulkers to drop all this stuff in, but oh well, I'm an idiot. I'll come back and get it. Seems like forever ago that I built this thing.
Been a while.
Well, that works too. Oh, I heard a spider, which means I left something downstairs. Somewhat bad. Alright. Yeah, I got plenty of room. Oh, that's what I get for looking at chat, not looking where I was going.
Yep, give me a second.
Fly into a tree. Actually, yes.
But yeah, other projects like sort of similar to my project are distributed under MIT. So
Yeah, perfect. If it works, right? There's nothing wrong with an MIT license at all.
one's empty. Alright.
What's up?
I'm still sorting stuff out. What about rockets?
Oh, I don't even know where to put those.
Oh, before I do that, toss all this kelp over here. Yep. Hopefully we have some
Have some what?
honey buns.
We should, unless Thing 3 ate them all this weekend.
Oh, that's a possibility. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Yes, possibility. Yeah, crypto is one of those things now where it's becoming... It's no longer just a fad thing. It's kind of a legitimate...
Oh yeah, there are so many large hedge funds and things like that getting involved.
And even smaller crypto for temporary or for quick trading back and forth, you can do some decent stuff with it. Not big scale, but...
Yeah. Well, I want to set up my Raspberry Pi to also run a Lightning Network node, which is basically, here's a way you can trade Bitcoin without having the fees go crazy high once things get more popular, and also allows a lot more transactions on the network.
Yeah, I think that Bitcoin became successful, but not in the way that everyone thought it was going to.
No, it doesn't really. It's not as much of a currency as I think you want. There are better cryptocurrencies for being a real currency that exists.
Yeah, I'm not sure that crypto will replace fiat, but in some ways, in certain areas it will. But
it's certainly a good way to move money with lower fees. Like that like international wires and that are crazy expensive. You know, I'm thinking there's a lot of, you know, uses for blockchain technologies in underlying financial technologies. And there are a lot of startups just doing that, where they're basically saying, yeah, this is a great idea, but ultimately as a currency replacement or as like a financial instrument, not really what we're looking to do. But we can use this sort of crypto technology and the blockchain to, you know, enable payments and things like that.
I've always been curious to see how it would work in a voting structure.
Oh yeah, using blockchain for you know, keeping
electronic voting.
Electronic voting. Yeah, anytime you mention electronic voting, every computer scientist in the world will basically wince because.
Yep, and 20 years ago, every time you mention computer or online banking, every computer scientist 20 years ago would just wince. Or 30 years ago.
Yeah, this is true, but at the same time, like, you know, voting has much higher stakes even than banking. Like, banking has high stakes, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Banking is a pretty high stakes industry, but, you know, voting has extremely high stakes.
Yeah.
It's just the kind of thing that...
Which is one of the reasons why I was like, well, if the blockchain system... I mean, if you're going to do electronic voting, that would be the way to do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Blockchain is the way to do electronic voting if we were going to do electronic voting.
Because
blockchain is the way to do it safely.
Yeah, because to manipulate, it's a lot harder to manipulate a blockchain.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways to do it, like 51% attacks and things like that, where you can sort of hack the consensus algorithms. It becomes hard if you design it. It becomes hard to hack if you design it well, but like, you know, a 51% consensus algorithm attack, if, you know, you were talking about, only states are running nodes that run the voting blockchain, then that becomes really easy. You get 26 states and corrupt 26 different nodes on that, and you're done. It's over. You would have to open it up and allow like individuals to run nodes, and you'd have to open source the whole project.
What if you did it through instead of states doing individual states? What if individual precincts did it?
Even then, though, like, do you really trust your county IT administrator to run something that secure? I mean, I guess they already run voting.
They already run electronic voting booths.
Yeah, but do you really trust? You need to make sure that people understand, like, okay, well, if you're gonna go download this software, you need to learn how to verify signatures and all this other kind of stuff. There's a lot of different things to learn when you start getting into, doing blockchain stuff. You don't go downloading, Bitcoin software just anywhere. You go to where you know it's trustworthy, and then you verify the signatures, and you make sure you haven't gotten man in the middle or anything like that.
And that's one of the reasons why I went to ask you about it, because I'm like, okay, I have just enough knowledge of this to be dangerous.
Yeah.
To myself.
Oh yeah. I recommend getting some signature verification software and verifying the signatures on everything yourself when you download something like Electrum. And like conveniently enough, like there are tutorials on the Electrum website of how to do it. So that's how you can learn.
Yeah.
You go download the signature, you go download the file, you verify the file matches with the signature. It's easier to do in Linux because like GPG is something that's basically built into the operating system, whereas in Windows you sort of have to download that.
Yeah, well, that's why I've got Windows Subsystem for Linux.
I mean, there are some native Windows applications that'll let you do it.
It's still annoying as all get out.
Yeah.
It's very obvious they don't build these things with Windows in mind.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And for decent reason. I understand why they don't.
Yeah, because everybody in the community is using Linux.
Yeah. If they could just... I've long said that my biggest problem with Linux, and Linux's biggest problem is also its biggest strength. That's fragmentation.
Yeah.
It's great because there's 101 tools to do everything based upon individual specificity. It's terrible because if you ever want to do something, there's 101 tools how to do it, and no one writes documentation software.
I gotta say, if you stick in like GNU project stuff, you're generally things are pretty well documented. If you start getting outside of the GNU project, so like GPG is a GNU tool, so like that load the documentation. Everybody will tell you how to use that stuff. You start getting outside of that sort of world, and yeah, it starts getting harder to find real documentation that tells you how to do everything. So.
Oh. Hey, Hills, you back yet?
Yeah, I'm back.
Have you decided whether or not you're working from home tomorrow, or are you going to try to go in?
It depends, like, if... I'm probably going to work from home tomorrow, but, I mean, if they've actually, like, done anything with the alley, which I doubt they will.
No, I was wondering, because if I need to go at least shovel off our part of the driveway where your car would go, that way you have a clean surface for that.
I mean, probably not, because if I can't... Like, it doesn't do any good to have that if...
I could always drive my car up, and because it was pretty much getting in and out off that slope was the biggest problem for my car. I can go drive it back and forth, angling a little bit side, and kind of pack a lot of that down.
I don't know.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is so if I know if I need to get off a little early so I can go take care of that before I go to bed, and I'm not doing it at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because if I don't do it, you're not going to be able to get out in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking if you were working from home tomorrow or if you were going to try to go in. Because if you want to try to go in, that's fine. I just need to do that tonight.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing it. I just don't want to do it at too terribly late.
No, I know.
Dang it. Give me a second, cool guy.
I haven't had to shovel it. Awesome.
Well, I haven't had a shovel in years either, but we get dumped 8 inches of snow in a night.
Yeah.
I should have done it this afternoon, but I was being lazy and warm. That and I didn't know how much more it was going to snow.
Yeah, it hadn't finished snowing yet either.
But it looks like that the storm's already through, so I don't think we're going to get any more snow than what we've already got. Sorry, I didn't mean to like throw a bunch of pressure on you to decide whether you're going into work or not. Sitting here all like, you must decide. Well, I'll plan on getting off a little early then, and I'll do it just in case you decide to go in.
Okay. That sounds good.
Because if you decide you're not going to, or if you decide you're going to, depending on how it looks, I'll check to see once I shovel that, and then I'll take a look at the what the alleyway is too, because I don't know, because of whoever the neighbor is that shoveled off the front may have shoveled or run his snowblower back down the alley too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't been out there since I went and got pizza and said fuck that. So is there a reason for that Trezor thing? Is there a reason why you couldn't just run that same thing on a thumb drive?
So, the reason that is given for using something like a hardware wallet instead of, like, you know, just storing your keys on say, a thumb drive is that a thumb drive, once you plug it into the computer, essentially can be read by any program that's running on your computer, which means that your private keys will be exposed to the operating system, and therefore, if that computer is connected to the internet, it's exposed to the internet as well.
So then how does Trezor work to connect, verify, and sign things if it doesn't connect to anything?
So Trezor, you do connect the Trezor via USB to your computer. The difference between like a Trezor and a USB like thumb drive or something like that is that it doesn't show up as like a mass storage device that has like mykeys.txt on it or something like that. It runs a little microcontroller on it, and it has a little bit of memory on it. And when you decide that you want to sign a transaction using your Trezor, it makes an API. It makes essentially what amounts to an API call with the raw transaction data, and it sends it to the Trezor. The Trezor signs it on device and then sends the signed transaction back.
Gotcha. So it's more than just a storage. It's more than a storage.
Fancy thumb drive.
Okay. Because I was looking at it, and I'm looking at this thing, and I'm going, okay, I'm missing something here because.
Yeah, you're missing the software that actually like interacts with it over USB instead of it acting like a thumb drive. Your key, the idea is that your private key never goes on your computer, and it never leaves the Trezor device.
So it runs pretty much a live whatever that gets powered up off the thumb drive.
It runs a very small little piece of software on it on a microcontroller. It's got like 100 megahertz ARM microcontroller that runs on it that gets powered off the USB port.
Gotcha.
Plug it in. So
Yeah, I was a little confused on that one. I was like, man, they're trying to sell me a $60 frickin' thumb drive here.
nope, it's much fancy. It's much fancier than that, and they wouldn't be charging $60 for a flash drive. No,
Well,
it's got a little bit more than it does. It does a little more than that in terms of what it can do. Yeah, the idea is that your private keys never are on the computer and therefore can't be stolen by the computer unless it's running some kind of malware that figures out how to break Trezor's security to somehow get it to send the private keys back, which depending on the signing algorithms that you're using is like theoretically possible. Like
no, everything's theoretically possible.
It's theoretically possible to break the signing algorithm and expose the private keys with that by like sending a fake transaction to it to be signed, and then you can get something that's reversible enough to get the private keys out of it. But it's not as easy as like, you know, private keys.txt or like your IDRSA or .ssh folder to steal those private keys. It's a lot more complicated. It requires a motivated attacker with knowledge of the specific hardware wallet that you're using, and they have to target whatever malware they're designing at your hardware. So,
and at that point, there's not much you can do to stop them.
At that point, with that motivated of an attacker, it's very difficult. Trezor has some other things in it that help prevent that kind of thing on a compromised machine. It's locked with a pin, so your Trezor is actually locked with a pin number on the device that it doesn't actually show up. You don't just type in the number as numbers. It actually like brings up a little clicking thing with a alphanumeric pad that goes 1
and then you got to
5.
click on it with your mouse.
You have to click on it with your mouse, and the numbers change position every single time. So it sends a signal that looks like a 1, but it's actually a 5 on the Trezor. So there's some other things that like prevent, like, you know, if somebody just plugs in your Trezor, they don't immediately get your private keys. You also have to unlock it using your PIN number. So yeah, it's similar but not the same sort of protocol as like a U2F security key with like a challenge response type thing, except the challenge is an unsigned transaction and the response is a signed transaction. So it's sort of similar to that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Like U2F sends a challenge and with like a security key, like a Google Titan. I got one of those too recently. It'll send like a challenge text, like a timestamp or whatever, and then it'll sign it using a private key on the device and then send back the signed result. So it's like a little smarter than just a flash drive with a program running on.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I will look into
my
hardware
understanding
wallets.
Yeah, that's my understanding of how it works. It's the most secure way to do it. There's a few different companies that make hardware wallets. Trezor is like one of the more inexpensive ones, which isn't a bad thing, and also B, one of the first ones that started the whole hardware wallet thing. So they've got sort of the legacy of having done it for longer than anybody else, and you know the sort of
but
done it for longer.
And if you're just doing small amount stuff, software wallets aren't necessarily the worst thing out there.
They're not the worst thing out there.
They're not the most secure thing out there, but
yeah, you're talking like $10-$20 in crypto, not a big deal. Talking a few $1,000s in crypto, yeah, it's worth spending $60 to put it on a hardware wallet.
Yeah.
So it really depends on like the amount of crypto and how deep you want to get into it. You know, I own like $3,000 worth of cryptocurrency. I'm not gonna have that on a on a software wallet.
Yeah, I got you. So, one other fun question: how much do they insure it for?
You don't get insurance with cryptocurrency. You are your own bank.
No, I meant for Trezor. Do they? What's the fail rate?
Okay, so with a hardware
QA
wallet,
in me is trying to figure that one out.
okay, so with a hardware wallet, you know, there's no warranty or anything like that, unfortunately. So with a hardware wallet, what happens when you generate the keys on the device is it also has what's called a key phrase, and that's generated with 24 words, it's 24 words that are specifically chosen that can regenerate your private key. From those 24 words, you can regenerate a private key. So the idea is when you do a Trezor, what you want to do is you want to have that, you have your hardware wallet, which is the convenient way of getting to your keys. And then you have a sort of backup paper wallet, essentially, that has your private key written down, essentially, in this sort of.
So if your hardware wallet fails, you still have a way to access and get your stuff.
If your hardware
back.
wallet fails, you can recover it to another hardware wallet using your mnemonic phrase. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, it's 24 words. With the Trezor, they give you a little booklet where you can write it down to write down your personal recovery seed.
And just throw that in my fireproof safe with all of my other documents,
fireproof safe with all your other documents, and you don't need it on a day-to-day basis. But if your Trezor fails for some reason, that's your insurance policy.
Okay.
If you want to go even more serious, you can go buy a metal wallet that you can etch your key phrase into.
I saw that they were selling those for like $180.
I bought like a $50 one. There was a $50 one that was available on Amazon that I bought that does it. Because the way the words are chosen is the first 4 letters of every word are unique. They're chosen with like a BIP 39 code or something like that. So the way the words are chosen is the first 4 letters are unique. So that's all you need is the first 4 letters of every word in your key phrase. And so I have a hardware wallet backup that is essentially this metal thing that I put all of the letters into by hand that has my key phrase backed up. And then I also have a paper backup. The idea is I would throw that in. The idea is I have a tamper-proof seal on that, so you can't open it without breaking the seal. And then I'm going to throw that in a safety deposit box at some point. So.
Gotcha.
So that gives me both an on-site backup in my lockbox, in my fire safe, and an off-site backup in the form of something that can't be tampered with, even if somebody did get into my safety deposit box without me actually knowing about it being tampered with. So. So all in all, the setup was like about $100, $120. But
That's
then
not
again,
terrible.
You're securing $3,000, and you're being your own bank. So you're like, well, yeah, you've got to have some decent security. It's going to cost a little bit of money. So.
Yeah, that's not an unreasonable amount to spend for securing what you're securing.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't think it was. I didn't think I was. You can really go wild with the hardware wallet thing. You can spend $400 or $500 on hardware wallets.
No, I'm good.
But it's not necessary.
I'm not planning on throwing a whole all of my savings or all of my trading stuff into crypto. So.
Yeah, and the thing is and even then. Like those several $1,000 devices don't make you any more secure than the $60 device will.
No.
Like it doesn't. You can spend a ton of money on stupid stuff, but it doesn't really help you. So.
I was poring over different subreddits, and there was some guy. There's some kind of low price or cheap. I want to say it's, I don't know what crypto it was. Anyway, he was able to mine it. He was able to mine that on old Android devices.
Oh, right. That's cool.
And so what he would do is he would mine that, and he found an exchange that buys it, and he was just utilizing that to mine, and then was trading up to the other stuff that's harder. And I thought that was a fascinatingly interesting way of, okay, I don't have the hardware capacity for large scale, but I have this.
Yeah, that seems like that's one way to do it.
And then I was like, well, if you're going to do it that way, then what's the, or as Hill asked, what's the offset? How much does it cost the electricity versus what you're getting out every so often?
Yeah. And that is what prevents 90% of people from mining, is the electricity cost.
I was like, well, okay, so how big of a solar panel do I need to buy that will keep a small bank of Android phones charged? We'll let the sun do its work.
By the time somebody's publishing that they've done this, the profitability for it's already run out.
Yeah.
That's the secret. Yeah, because like you could buy there's actually a $500 aluminum Trezor that you can buy. But
yeah,
it
I
does
saw
exactly
that.
the same software, and it does exactly the same thing as the plastic one. It's exactly the same thing. It's just that one is aluminum.
It's hand-pressed aluminum. Good for you.
It looks really nice. It's really expensive looking. It doesn't really help.
But I'm also the person that spent some money to play Star Citizen, so...
Honestly, it's more like a commemorative device than it is like a thing that you actually that's practically expected for somebody to buy.
Yeah.
They made them for themselves and decided to sell them because that's what they do.
People will buy them.
Yeah, people will buy them, you know.
If they can make some money that way, then good for them. That's what the market's all about. You have something that someone is willing to pay you money for, sell it. You're not going to hear me complain about it. Just because I wouldn't buy it doesn't mean that there aren't 100 other people out there that will.
Yeah, I think they only made like 500 of them or something like that.
They make Land Rovers, so...
They didn't make a huge quantity of the
aluminum ones.
Mostly because people didn't need, because there's no real need for it.
All right. I think I'm going to wrap this up in not too much longer of a time because I'm going to go do some digging of snow before I go to bed. Just in case the wife needs to go. What's
up?
One
of the advantages to like the Trezor, in my opinion, is realistically, to anybody who doesn't know what it looks like a garage door opener. Like,
yeah.
That's one of the advantages. It basically looks like a garage door opener. Nobody's gonna really question you for having it on your keychain or something like that. Whereas other, similar devices like Ledger and things like that, kind of look like they've got nuclear codes on them or something. So, a lot of the other devices that do this same type of thing, you can get them with like biometric unlocks and all this other kind of crazy technology in them for not that much more money, but they sort of look like they've got nuclear codes on them, whereas this one has like its tiny little OLED screen on it that honestly doesn't even look like a screen unless you've looked at devices like this before. and
do
then it
is
has 2 buttons.
you buy one of those Pokemon Go device things, and then you just crack the case open, stick it inside, and everybody think that you're playing Pokemon.
You got a Pokeball, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't look like doesn't look like a really fancy device that's necessarily, you know, holding holding the keys to thousands of dollars worth of crypto.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you so much for the information, the advice, all the fun stuff.
No problem. I am glad to talk about it. I'm learning it as well currently, but
If you guys are about to start lagging, I am very sorry.
I'm about ready to get off.
Oh, I'm using the XP farm, so...
Oh, okay, gotcha.
the XP for the Elytra.
I'm going to have to do that sometime this week before I use this thing again. My Silk Touch pickaxe is about out. Because that's all I've been doing for the last hour is chopping glass. But my dome is now a flat spaceship.
I want to build a Raspberry Pi cluster.
I gotta look to see what all I've got. A bunch of sensors and stuff that I was gonna do some crazy stuff with my Raspberry Pis. I just never got around to it.
I wonder if you could build like a password cracking cluster with Raspberry Pis.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Careful, kiddo.
A hash crack password.
Yeah, I knew someone that did a whole bunch of crazy Beowulf cluster stuff with pies.
Like, I know it's doable, but I've never really like had the application where I've wanted to have a bunch of Raspberry Pis running like that. Never really had the application in mind where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use this a whole bunch. I need like 4 Raspberry Pis and a cluster interface and everything like that. It's always been like, yeah, that'd be fun to try, but then I would have like 4 Raspberry Pis sitting around and nothing really to do with it.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing. Was like every time I broke it out, do something. I'm like, why am I doing this on a Pi when I can just have it running in the background on my computer?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a 16 thread Ryzen machine sitting here with like 32 gigs of RAM, like, and the only problem with it is it's slightly noisy, but I'm going to be interacting with it most of the time. Unless I can beat that, unless I can get more parallelism than what I can do on just my desktop, which would mean I need like 8 to 16 Raspberry Pis, there's not really a point. And by that point, it's like, well, I could just build a server with that much parallelism for the amount of money I'd put into it.
Yeah.
Go buy some old Xeon off eBay.
I got an old server sitting around here that I got to figure out what I'm going to do with.
So, yeah. So by the time I got into, by the time I realized, like, by the time I figured like what it would cost to actually get into a project like that, I was like, why? I could just run like 4 Docker containers.
Yep.
Like,
well, and that was, I got gifted a couple servers, and then I'm sitting here going, okay, what am I going to do with home servers that I can't just have a Docker container elsewhere and run, and then I can access it in more places than just my house?
yeah. I mean, like, I could see, like, if I had, like, real servers running, like, a Proxmox cluster on it, and then rather than having, like, a Pi-hole running on a Pi, running it on, like, a real, like, cluster system or something like that.
Yeah.
I could see having that and then having, failover, so if one of the servers fails, it brings it up on the other server instantly or whatever. I could see doing that, but, like, not with Raspberry Pis.
No, that requires
more hardware than that. So.
Like, okay, get why the Pi exists, and I get where it sits in, and especially the makerspace. It's amazing. But that's not what I'm doing so much anymore.
And, like, I
And if
really
I'm going to
like
do that, I'm just going to get single-use Adrenos anyway, because A, they're cheaper, and B, they're easier to set up.
Yeah. And honestly, like, the thing that I use my Pi for most of the time right now is just running that full node, that full Bitcoin node, so I don't have to do the downloads all the time.
China is alive.
Oh, Triton showed up.
Hello.
What's
She's
up?
alive.
I heard you talking about pie hole and stuff.
We've been spending the entire episode, the entire evening practically talking about either that or crypto.
Yeah. Also, you gotta turn up Discord on the stream.
Do I?
Yeah.
Who can barely hear us?
We're always quiet.
Well, then everybody goes quiet, so I can't see what the audio levels are at.
Oh, sorry. Now you want it to talk. Okay.
Nobody say anything.
Doo da doo da doo da doo. I'll just make some weird noise. Boo 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 boo.
That should be better. I don't necessarily want it louder than me, but
No, it was sounded like the same volume as your music.
The voices behind your head.
that is
in your head.
so weird. So I guess the audio meters doesn't really matter on OBS.
No.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna go.
Of course not.
You guys have fun.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna go.
Oh, okay.
Help friends with a video game that absolutely need help with because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's
That's
great.
always fun. That sounds like us most of the time.
And then of course my birthday's coming up soon and I don't want to turn 15.
Oh, to turn 15. How am I over twice your age?
Yeah.
I have a kid that's older than you. Man, do I feel old now.
So
Huh?
I said I laugh, but I am too. So
That fat kid was in here to make some more old jokes.
Honestly, my parents make fucking dirty ass jokes and I tell them this, they still keep fucking going with it. Like we did some today, I'm
If
like,
you can't ruin your kids with dirty jokes, then what good is being an adult?
anyways,
All right, man. Well, if I don't see you before your birthday, happy birthday.
yeah.
you're not even streaming on that day. It's on Tuesday, this Tuesday.
Yep. So happy birthday.
Thank you. don't
I
want
hope
to
it's
be
a good birthday. I know you don't want to get
shit,
older,
the oldest on my-
but
the oldest
it's
on my
not
friend
bad.
group. Fuck.
It happens every year.
Anyways, bye.
stay up.
Yeah.
God, I feel old.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's your birthday. Yep, I'll be 15. Shit.
Oh boy.
You bet.
Well, my once fun dome is now a flat piece of something.
Tearing it all down.
Yep. My brother got rid of his pyramid, and he built some weird monoliths-looking things that I don't understand, because when I asked him, he said they were... What did he say they were? They were alien artifacts.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
Okay.
They're alien artifacts that he found. Okay.
But he left the. Oh wait, no, that's not his. That's the gold spawner.
Oh, the gold farm? Yeah, that's still there. You get these monolithic looking things. I asked him to leave Anubis here. I like the idea of having Anubis. I think what he was trying to do was he was doing something about... I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, what is he trying to do?
I don't know. They look interesting, though. He's got these that get slightly smaller, smaller, and smaller. And then he's got these that go all the way up to build height.
Oh boy.
Well, he had all that black wool left over after building the frickin' decky. So, whatever.
Oh, he made like cubes of it? Wow. Okay.
Are they solid all the way through?
I don't know. Actually, let me go back and find out.
Flint and steel it.
That's the question. I
I'm
have.
not flint and stealing that. That would... Oh, that would...
The question that I have is: are those solid wool?
I mean the gold block that was in his the pyramid was solid.
Yeah.
No, it's not solid.
Okay. Because that would be even more insane than it already was if it was so solid.
He had a...
Oh,
What was that?
I don't have that much sand.
Was that a 16 by 16 cube of solid gold blocks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just stopped asking questions after a while. That was I will admit though, that was a pretty cool project.
We have a lot of diorite.
We have a lot of diorite. Yes. We have a lot of bird poop.
We don't have a chest for string, do we? No, we do not.
No, we don't.
Cool. I'm getting there slowly.
We are.
Like if you look through the, I don't know, where I should put. Oh, I have a chest in my area that's got buckets of lava, so I'll probably dump these in there real quick. Well, crap.
Vanilla storage systems are so satisfying because they've got all these chests and everything, whereas if you look at something like AE, it's just like one disk drive sitting somewhere. It's like, yeah, that has 30 million items in it. It's like, really? Doesn't look like it.
Nope, that's not where that goes.
Oh, are you putting the duck up?
Yep.
We have a lot of gold.
We have too much gold. I don't even... Let's see. Eric said he was running it earlier. Cool Guy said he was running it earlier. How much gold do we have down on the farm?
A lot. If I had to guess.
Alright. I really hate how the Elytra does not like to work in frickin' Bedrock.
I think it's the lag.
We've got some bad lag.
Alright, now I need to put
Would
all-
migrating it over to the other server thing that you were talking about fix the lag?
I don't know. It says it's more performance, although
Or-
it's built in Java.
Or are we lagging because of the farms and the stuff that we have?
I don't know. I have no way to tell. Well, I mean, I can look at the VM. Let's see
What are you running your server on now?
It's Proxmox.
Oh, okay, so somebody has a server sitting in their basement.
Yes, my basement.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hold on, where is it's only
Oh,
using,
we have a lot more rotten flesh over here too, babe.
Oh, I know.
only
There's like a
using
whole. There's like a shulker
26%
full.
of 4 cores.
Isn't the server though notoriously single-threaded?
Well, it's so it's a Bedrock server, so it's written in plus plus, I think, or something like that.
I don't remember what.
But
what it was written in.
it supposedly uses multi-cores, but certain tasks are single-threaded, it seems. And it's
Yeah,
probably
'cause-
all the tick events that
Okay.
farms are doing.
all on a single
Okay.
thread. That's
Yeah.
what it would
That'd be
seem
good.
like to me. Is what it sounds like. Is all the tick events are all on the same thread. So there's a lot of other stuff that's on there that can be put on different threads, but all the tick events, which is what you have a lot of, are all on one thread.
Yeah, so like right now, 2 to 3, well, actually all 4 cores are 100% right now. Oh, cool. And it is Bedrock server doing it. I wonder if pumping it up to 6 or 8 cores will fix it. But it's mostly like taxed out in 1 core, always.
But like right now, there's only what 2 of us on. Back when there was 4 of us on, it was bad.
Well, you probably had multiple chunks open
Yeah.
and then things active in each of those chunks, so yeah, it's not that performant. Yeah, so it seems like it's always 100% of 2 cores. And RAM, I mean, Bedrock doesn't really use a lot of RAM. It's only using like 3 gigs. But the VM has 11 gigs and 6 gigs are used. So weird.
I
Who
don't
just
need
joined?
Trident.
Oh, of course it's Fat Kid. We were just talking about you.
Oh, I have the stream muted too. Dang.
But yeah, I don't know what would be an improvement. This is a better CPU than what it was running on. As in, it's faster.
Yeah, I knew that you had upgraded the CPU.
Yeah, it's now a Ryzen 5.
Gross.
I know, so gross.
I'm pretty much sold on like holding out to get a Ryzen 9 for my upgrade.
Well, I mean, this is just a VM.
I'm glad I went
Sure.
with the Ryzen 9.
Yeah, I did too.
Um,
and then
I think the
2
Ryzen
weeks
9
later.
more than I need anything, but
I want to build a crazy machine with a Threadripper next time I build something.
If I had the cash, I would have done Threadripper.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have the cash, I probably want to do some like ridiculous server setup and just run all my computers in a virtual machine on it, and just have stupidness that's probably not even that good. But
I mean, you can do that with what's that soft? Well, actually, any VM software you can pass through a GPU, so you can do that.
no, I know like that's actually what my friend does. That he's primary Linux and he has a Windows VM and he has a second graphics card just to pass through to Windows.
I was
Do his
going to
gaming in.
do that. I was going to do that with my last build and then just didn't because it was too much of a pain to configure.
It is.
So I bought 2 graphics cards specifically to do that so I could bring up a Windows VM with the separate graphics card.
It's time consuming, and then if something breaks, it's very hard to diagnose.
I mean, he does, I feel like, spend like every like month or two, like a day or two working on fixing everything. because like he updates his system and it breaks something.
Sounds about right. Okay.
I'm too
But I
lazy for
mean-
that shit anymore.
He's also running like Gen 2, and he's just stupid.
I'm gonna say he sounds like he'd be an Arch guy, but Gen 2 works too.
I was gonna
Gen
say, I
2
think
is Arch
he
for
used to
people
use
who hate themselves.
he used to use Archmage or something like that.
Fucking Arch.
I don't know. There's something with a mage in the name.
I like Ubuntu.
Simple.
My
So I found out the extra mesh that I put over my intake fans have definitely been catching dust, so that's good.
that's a plus. Less clean out your computer every so often, but you should still do that.
Yeah, I think
well,
I'm about due to do it here soon.
I just put the mesh on like a week and a half ago, maybe a week. Like, it's definitely less than 2 weeks ago, and it was just like caked on with dust. And I'm like, all right, so I should probably pop the front cover off and vacuum off these fairly often.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's pretty like super easy to access those. So
Yeah, if you have pets, that's like a mandatory thing to do like every couple weeks.
yeah, I still wish like I kind of want to have like. I think I'd have to make it myself, but like I'd have to make a custom like HEPA filter to stick over the front of this.
Just go to the hardware store, pick up a air filter for a furnace, and cut it.
Cut
That's all
it
you
out,
need.
refold it.
If you get the kind that are like for large filters, they're usually like just a sheet pleated, so you can just unfold it all.
Yeah, but I would still want the pleats because the surface area gives more capturing.
But like, you don't need so much.
It's true. Now that I have the mesh, I can put just about anything in there. I wish I still had the mesh that went in the PC case, because I think I threw it away. Because what was happening is it was too thin, so the fans would suck them in, and they would rub on the front of the fans, and the fans would start making noise because of it.
That sounds
was
like
like-
a poor design.
Not only is this awful, it's just wearing down my fans faster too. Like, because I think it was just rubbing on the front circle piece, but
Yeah, fans
That's
don't
enough.
like having any
things touch
resistance.
them. So now that I have the mesh over the fans, like I could really probably throw anything in there that'll stop, to try to collect dust. Like the front mesh seems to catch cat hair fairly well. It's just the rest of the dust that's
Just put your
Being a
computer in a box with filters in that box. That's all you need to do.
I've thought about it. Just go ahead and set up like, because I already have like pretty much dedicated exhaust. Just stick that out and
Here's
Although
what you
I
gotta
have-
do. You gotta cut a hole in the wall and stick your computer into it.
just hide it. I don't think that I'm honestly concerned of how cheaply this put together. There's probably all sorts of dust and everything in the walls too, so that probably wouldn't work.
Just vent to the outside. Don't even care.
Honestly, I
Who
sometimes
said
think
window
just doing
mounted
it-
AC unit? It's a window mounted computer, okay?
That's your heater now.
I've thought sometimes
Save
just
on your
bringing in, like,
save on your heating bills by using computers instead, and just mine cryptocurrency.
mine
make money while
cryptocurrency.
spending.
All I have to do is run this computer. It's an old FX chip. Like it definitely produces its own heat just fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just get
I
like
just-
30 GPUs and use it instead of a heater, and get water cool them all, and have a radiator, and put it in as your central furnace system, and you both make money from your heating. Life hacks.
I sometimes think just setting up like an air intake from outside for my PC would probably be cleaner air than sucking in air from the rest of the building.
I've
You're gonna-
honestly thought about designing a heating system that, runs for your house and uses GPUs or something instead. It wouldn't be efficient as a heater, and it probably wouldn't be super efficient as a cryptocurrency mining thing. You could probably use maybe use ASICs for that instead, but then
You
it
should use
costs a lot.
ASIC for that.
Yeah.
Can you even do it off
think
of?
I've
Well, I
read
guess you
something
still
on
could,
a
but
small scale, it still won't actually pay for itself. But on a
Well, the
big
idea is it doesn't
scale-
pay for itself. The idea is it heats your house
For
and then
itself.
also pays you money back.
No, that's the thing though. Is it like you don't actually save money on heating your house?
No, you don't. You don't save any. You don't save any money anywhere.
no,
just
but you
get
can
more money than
you
had
can
before.
try to justify it to a significant other that doesn't know better.
Because pretty much most of any money you're making is just paying the electricity.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main
But
thing.
it's free heat. It's free heat.
Yeah, then you don't
You
have to
could have
run your
done
heater as
more
You don't
often.
have to run
efficiently.
your furnace. You don't have to run your furnace anymore.
No,
You could have paid less by just running your furnace though. So
and or buying an extra furnace even. The cost of GPUs these days, it'd be cheaper just to buy multiple furnaces.
you could do that 3080 setup.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you run it all through. You run it all on a water cooling loop, or on a few water cooling loops. You have radiators, and you put that in your furnace instead, and you run it You run the forced air that would normally run through your house
Always.
through your thing, and then you have a heater. There you go.
But then in the winter that doesn't work so well. Or in the summer.
In the summer, yeah. In the summer, that doesn't work so well. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
you'd
is
have to
true.
Hey, Sita, how are you?
what would you have to do? Hook it up outside instead?
You'd vent it outside
I was
instead
gonna
of
say you
venting
just
it
vent it
Yeah, we're
outside.
tearing this thing down. What
You'd
was
vent it
pretty
outside
is
rather
what
than having
we.
it vent to your
Hang
interior
on, where did we create?
for heat.
But
There
no,
we
I
go.
have read something like that.
Got the rest of the
for,
town
like,
that we've
large
been building.
complexes or warehouses that potentially doing some air, whatever they're called, conditioning. Conditioning being generic, not
There we
necessarily AC.
go.
With cryptocurrency mining
I've
is actually
been
potentially
good.
something that's worthwhile.
Well, like
I've been good. It's
Because
been
if they're not like living spaces,
we
you
got a
don't
bunch of
necessarily
snow
need
last
them to
night,
be, like,
so
the same
but I've
temperature
been pretty
as,
good
like, a house
otherwise.
or anything. You just need a little extra heat.
I mean, some countries have whole town heating using water.
Yeah, with like boilers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Well, it's usually geothermal.
Well, nowadays data centers, you just buy a data center with a lake outside and then run
Yeah,
a radiator into the lake,
Or do
and
what
then run
Microsoft
water
did.
and then run water through the radiator in the lake, and then just radiate the heat out on the lake, and have like
Yeah.
a 90-degree hot spring out in your out in your front
Yeah.
yard.
What would be wrong? What's wrong with
just
that?
is
do what
not- not
Microsoft
even
and build it
kidding.
underwater.
Not
Yeah, I
even
haven't
kidding.
talked to you in
That
a
is how
while.
some data centers handle their cooling nowadays. Is
Well,
they just have a
I've
lake.
been
out
kind
front.
of
Well,
it gets like the
most
snow.
data centers are
It's
becoming
been
more
stormy
efficient just by not
today.
even using AC.
We're gonna
just
go out
pulling
and build a
fresh air.
snowman tomorrow with the youngest.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and they put them in the Arctic Circle.
I
too.
promised her we
Oh,
get a
because
snowman
data
because it's the
centers-
first time
just
it's
because a
really
couple
snowed
data
here
centers up
since
in
she's been
the Arctic
born.
Circle,
We've had little bits of
air
snow,
from
but
outside.
I
not
got a cooling
much.
solution for your server. Try it in.
what?
Just put in a pool.
Put in a pool?
Yeah.
I thought
Then you
about
can
it.
then you
Maybe
can have a
it'll
heated
be a hot
pool
tub.
and yeah, there you go. Like I got a heated pool.
Yeah, my basement really is missing that pool. So
Well, you've heard of mineral oil PCs. I mean, there's no reason why I couldn't just work with water, right?
it could if you used absolutely
pure,
pure water.
Yeah, but getting water to that purity, like
Is
the moment
expensive.
any sort of dust gets into that water, it's done. The whole system just shorts.
I wouldn't.
So-
Yeah, I wouldn't want to
Yeah,
trust
I wouldn't
that.
trust it. Even mineral oil, that it's just awful working with.
Oh yeah, it would be
No, I've
terrible.
definitely seen those get super gunked up. Like,
Oh, they do. Like I mean, the fans will live forever because they're always oiled.
They don't usually use fans.
Yeah, they do.
Actually, yeah, mineral oil PCs do use fans to move
haven't
the
seen one with
oil over the
fans.
move oil over
I've
the
seen them
radiators.
use
and
pumps
stuff
to
like that.
circulate
Yeah,
oil.
the ones I've seen, the CPU is usually like an air cooler tower, but just the fans push the mineral oil over it to cool it.
Yeah, and they'll just use like a standard GPU with fans or whatever in it.
Yeah.
I don't like that idea.
I know, I hate, but and then like if you have to
seems
on it?
very.
Oh, if you have to work on it, it's the biggest pain in the butt.
because
It is a
mineral oil
mess.
drips upward when it's touching stuff.
It
It's
is a
awful.
it is a mess to
It
work on a
just-
system like that.
I'd rather do the pain to build one into a desk before I would do a mineral oil.
There is a new cooling liquid by I think 3M that's slightly better thermal conducting than mineral oil and has no conductivity for
they-
electricity. It's expensive as fuck, but
Well, yeah, it's 3M.
they're using that in data centers.
No.
Well, the baller.
if I
data centers.
if I ever build a water cooling loop, you should just put vodka through it. Russian PC is strong.
Start a company doing that. Call it Gopnik PC.
Life of Boris has an actual video where he does do a vodka cooled PC.
Does he?
Yes, he does. He does do a fully vodka. He doesn't only does the CPU, but he does a
I
water
haven't
cooling
watched
loop
Life of
and
Boris
runs
in so
vodka
long.
and runs vodka through it. It's hilarious.
In Soviet Russia, computer cools you.
In Soviet Russia, we drink computer coolant.
Just have a tap on it. That's all you need. It might be warm, but
Yeah, warm vodka is not good, but like,
yeah, it's the opposite effect you want to do with it.
yeah.
Anyone tuning in just to get some Minecraft advice is going to be so confused. It's like, I thought this was a Minecraft SMP. What are they talking about?
Alternative cooling facts.
But apparently vodka, at least according to the testing he did, vodka is slightly better at thermal conducting than tap water was. So
Yeah, I guess that could be true.
you get slightly lower temperatures. So
It could be more that it's more efficient at flowing through the pipes, maybe?
yeah, maybe I honestly don't know.
Because
Vodka's
alcohol
already
thins it out.
60% water. It's only 40% grain off.
You gotta
40.
Only get a better proof then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like Everclear or
Someone needs to
something
bug
like that.
Linus to test this out.
Yeah,
I get-
Linus should test this out. It'd be
Linus
great.
Tech tips of alternative cooling fluids.
Yeah, try things like Everclear and vodka. And all
You know
that
what? That should be. Someone needs to suggest that for his next Scrapyard Wars.
No, not Scrapyard Wars. That would be
It's gotta be. It's gotta be cooled, but it can't. It's gotta use alternative.
we can't use water.
No,
Someone
it-
will do a mineral oil PC then in a fish tank. You know it. Like that would be the obvious choice. Is a mineral oil fish tank PC.
why not? In a fish tank.
That's how you build a mineral oil PC.
Oh yeah, no,
You
I
get
know.
A fish tank, and you put your PC in it.
They used to have kits, but the person with a patent did something and said you can't make it anymore or something like that.
Joiks.
I know.
Not very nice.
Of course they would.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well,
But yeah, I wonder if you did like an alcohol based coolant, if you could do like an evaporative chamber cooler, So like the liquid actually evaporates on the pad that's connected to the thing. If that would actually be more efficient, like similar to a vapor chamber.
Well, if you put it under a vacuum, that would work well.
Yeah. Except then you have to pull a vacuum, which just doesn't seem
Yeah, and then
power
you
efficient.
gotta like fill it every so often too, and replenish.
Well, no, it's a closed system, so it
Oh.
evaporates, and then you have a and instead of a radiator where it's still liquid, you have a condenser unit where you condense it back down into liquid before you run it back through the loop and then have it evaporate again. So
Let's see. Okay.
because that's slightly more efficient than just like than just the conducting thing using
Yeah.
evaporative cooling. Because like that's what a vapor chamber is based on.
Well,
It's
and then
similar to.
if you make a big cooler, then you don't really need fans.
Efficient. I don't think this word means what you think it means.
Well, it's better at carrying. Evaporative cooling is better at taking away heat than just conductive cooling. Like that's what heat pipes are actually based on. This heat pipes actually have a small amount of liquid on them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
And then they
liquid
carry
and then a wick.
Yeah. So I'm just talking about like scaling that up to a full cooling system, like a heat pipe based cooling system.
So, kind of like the heat pipes that are in my PC already.
Yeah,
but bigger.
But bigger and with Everclear and.
Yeah, all you need is something that has a low boiling point. That's really.
Yeah, that's really all it requires. Yeah. Or a boiling point that's below the maximum operating temperature, whatever.
Well,
thing that
that's
you're
why
using.
put it under a vacuum would help because that lowers the boiling point.
Yeah.
So, shampoo.
Shampoo.
Yeah, it's use shampoo.
That
A little gloopy. It's a
Yeah.
little gloopy.
yeah.
This is why I was like thinking of things like alcohol and that kind of thing. 'Cause
Yeah,
that was a
alcohol
little
would work.
more-
Gasoline.
WD-40. How about that?
Straight up jet
It'll-
fuel.
It'll disintegrate your loop, but
Vegetable oil.
And then you just have the case made out of steel beams, and that way it'll never melt.
And
Did-
people say I talk about hot topics, but words. They say I talk about stuff.
Oh yeah, we are talking about some pretty hot topics. If you get it.
do they
Get
sell
out.
pieces of the building? Put that in the PC too.
I can do
Oh,
this now. I can.
Maybe we could ask the Jews to use their space laser on it.
Gosh.
Sorry for moving you. I just realized that I was like, get out, and I was like, oh wait, I can make that happen.
Now I'm understanding why you're saying it was a bad idea to give you mod privileges.
Hey, I brought him back. It wasn't quite like what banning Zingling from YouTube.
That was funny. Like, what does this do? Ban. Well, we're not seeing him for 5 minutes.
It didn't take that long. He had another account.
Ban evasion.
Right? Permaban now.
Wow, I've gotten a lot torn down on this thing.
Yeah. The only thing that can improve on YouTube is mod tools. That's it.
Mod tools could get better. Although I did have to restart the stream as soon as I started it earlier.
Really?
Yep. Worked like a charm.
Why was it crackling or something?
Yeah.
Damn YouTube.
Wait, is that the last person in chat? Is that your lady coder friend?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm trying to figure things out. Everyone has new names on YouTube.
It's
awful.
been rough for me to figure out as well.
I'm just banning everyone I don't recognize until they let me know who they are.
Every night.
Who are you?
Don't say anything.
Oh, you're not
You
telling me?
didn't really care anyway.
You are put in timeout until.
We're not banning anyone. Not yet.
You're not, maybe.
I'm gonna wait until like Darkwing gets up and walks away to do it. Then I can spam Chad and he'll never know what happened. Now who's in charge?
Who's the streamer now?
Look at me. Who's the streamer now? I am the streamer now.
I do always tell streamers that the stream isn't theirs, so.
I think I'm leaving that
Some
green thing
people
in the sky, though.
Some people actually realize what it means. They're like, what? Others is like, it's like, oh, your stream doesn't exist without people watching it, so.
Well, it says 4 people are watching, so that's all of us.
Yeah.
No, I'm not watching it.
Oh.
Oh, we got a
so there's
mysterious
viewers.
person.
Yeah, you think my wife will watch my stream?
Not while I'm playing.
She's smart.
It just
This is
sucks
what
that
cool
you can't
monitors are for.
tell who is like in the chat.
Yeah, I don't care.
No, there's a bunch of weird features that I definitely am not a big fan of.
There's some weird stuff,
But
but
there is a participants option, but it just tells you who is chatted.
Yeah,
chat
so
is
it's-
the last
Know it.
5 minutes.
It'll only tell you people who are actually chatting. If somebody watches the stream and doesn't open the chat or look at the chat, it
Yeah.
won't show that person.
Ugh. I hate Google.
I have a love-hate relationship with them, so you know what up.
You love
As-
their money and you hate them.
No, not their money. I mean,
no, it's Triton talking now. Chris is the one that loves their money, which is why he works there.
oh,
Oh, I thought that's who said they had the
That's
love-hate
that's why I was laughing, because you started bashing on Google with a Googler.
I mean,
Yeah, that's why I was bashing on Google. Like,
I've only been to Google once. It is something I maybe want to work at.
It's a cool company. I mean,
Yeah. I was at
okay.
their LA office. Their cool Google flying simulator, whatever it is, that has like 6 50-inch screens surrounding you, and you can pan around on Google Earth. That thing was
no,
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they moved
Darkwing.
that to,
Yo,
or they have another one
You
at
should
the
just
Computer History Museum.
put
in
down a bunch of
Austria.
TNT. This would be way
But they
faster.
could.
you know, I was thinking about that actually.
For what?
But then when it inevitably leaves one little piece behind, it will be annoying.
It's gonna leave a piece behind everywhere.
Well, then what you should do is just a giant TNT gun and just keep
Blow it up.
spamming TNT this whole area until there's nothing left.
I mean, the other thing I could do too is download the world edit it, and then put it back up.
Or get the coordinates of all 4 corners and just use the set block command.
Yeah, I could.
But that
Send
wouldn't be
it.
as entertaining.
No, of
Or
course not.
instead, we can watch you very poorly break a bunch of glass for 60 hours.
And we
Yeah,
wonder
I mean,
why
I
no
guess that's
people
always an option.
Just load in the TNT and fly away. Don't even care, okay?
Yeah,
I love
if
I
you were
love that
blowing
all of
things
my
up-
friends are fucking trolls. I fucking love it.
I mean, if you were blowing things up with TNT, I'm like 90% certain you'd get more viewers. Like seriously.
Yeah, just title your video "Blowing Up My Base with TNT." You'll get
Oh yeah,
viewers.
that's instant viewers.
I immediately jumped to like building some, real life buildings and then blowing up.
Blowing up.
You might get traffic. Like,
I get the frickin' Army Office of Investigations contacting me. All right, what base are we going after with TNT here?
TNT? What are you guys, old school?
Yeah, we use C4 these days.
Set that my title. Veteran blows up base with TNT.
Now that I think about it, not a great title.
Like when we were playing Ingress and I said something about, hang on, I gotta go blow up the courthouse real quick.
Yeah,
I
Or,
was like,
or
"Oh,
do you
wait."
have keys to the bank?
yeah. Oh, cops hated us for so long. Trying to
Gotta-
figure out why we're parked at a church at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, gotta take out the church. Had the local cops show up for me.
what are you doing? Oh, I'm just blowing up the church.
Yep.
Well, for mine, we talked to the cop like earlier. He was just checking on us to see what we were doing, and we're like, "Oh yeah, we're playing this game." And then like not even 15 minutes later, he comes back where we were and was like, "Hey, you guys might want to move along. We already had a report from a resident." Like,
Idiot.
wow.
And
Am I doing anything illegal, officer?
Just being creepy at 3 a.m. in a tiny town of nobody? Yes.
Yeah, as soon as you question it, he just starts tasing you. You're lucky
Well-
because you're white.
Well, like when Pokemon Go came out, then you could be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just playing Pokemon Go," because they know that more than Ingress. And trying to explain the game and saying that you have to take over places.
Oh,
That's a
is,
good thing
is,
with
is that
cops.
like geocaching?
Yes,
Say yes.
but digitally. It's digital geocaching.
Most
it's-
geocaching these days is digital, anyways.
I mean, that's how you got to find it digitally. So, but like,
No, but most of the
I mean-
caches now are digital.
Yeah, even
Oh,
the caches
really?
now are digital.
Yeah.
huh. When I did geocaching, it was actually physical items that you had to go find.
Yeah, and nowadays they'll just put like a Bluetooth low energy beacon in the area and you go find it that way.
Cool.
That's-
I gotta say, I think I've seen some that just use whatever those little pictures with
NFT
dots
tag?
on them.
Oh, a QR code.
QR.
Yeah, there you go. I'm really technical sometimes.
Yes.
I mean, you are
Or-
getting
or
your
no.
masters, so we should.
Not-
We
What was it? Not QR codes, but the Microsoft tags that did not catch on. They were
QR
like,
codes haven't even really caught on. Something
They've
didn't
caught
catch
on
everywhere
more.
now, though.
But
I mean,
the
QR is just
I
a
can't-
data exchange interface.
Yeah.
It's
Although-
just another way to encode data. You can literally write programs that you can scan in on QR.
somebody did that on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Yeah,
video.
that was a great video, actually.
We
That
did
whole channel-
utilize-
that whole channel is awesome.
We did
I know.
utilize QR for Thing 2 or Thing 3 shirt that we got her for Christmas. She wanted a QR code, so when you scan it, it goes straight to Rickroll.
Nice.
She wanted to
The Rickroll
Rickroll people with a QR code on a T-shirt, so that if she's wearing it out, and people are looking through photos and they go, "Oh, that's a QR code. What's that go to?" They get Rickrolled because that
You
is
gotta
the
put a link
quality,
tracking to actually see how many people clicked it.
right? Because that's the quality of the kids that I decided to raise.
High quality. That's a high quality kid.
But-
Yeah, that was a very proud moment
It's
as
the
a
cue
father
card that
for
just
me.
takes you to a place that's like, please do not return this child
Okay.
too. Did you read it? I said, don't return the child. I gave you the address just so you know where not to take it.
Please no.
Alright. Once I get this glass down, I think I'm bailing out for the night.
Rude.
I said I was getting off early, and then I decided not to. Oh, since I got half of you here, you guys want to play Warzone tomorrow, or you guys want to play PUBG?
Down for either.
I still just want to play Tarkov. I'm still scared.
Trident, do you have Tarkov?
I don't have Tarkov.
Dang.
It seems like too much of a learning curve for me, and I'm dumb, and I don't want to.
It's not as much a learn. Well, the maps are kind of a learning curve, but the rest of it's just like, oh, okay, it's all about inventory management and not having a HUD.
I've jumped into the map, or one of the maps, like 3 different times, and I have most of it pretty well down already.
It was the out spots for me that was annoying to remember where I had to go, because there's no way to find out.
There's no anything. Like, there's not even a device you can find that's like a GPS. Like, seriously.
I guess there's a compass.
How's that supposed to help?
I don't know. I don't know what all it does, or if it just tells you what direction you're facing. 'Cause if that's all it does.
That's what a compass does.
I know what I got. Get out of here. I quit.
This is my content. Trolls.
And this is why I'm getting my master's, because no one wants to deal with me in like actual work. I'm just gonna stay in academia for the rest of my life.
Because
I've
you know
definitely
that pays
seen
well.
examples.
Well,
that
you know,
can be
you do that,
completely
you'll
incompetent.
if you do that, you'll be my hero.
You can be completely incompetent in academia and still get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although
that's
my examples is that happens in real life too. So, but
yeah.
like I've definitely seen a bunch of kids get real jobs, and I'm like, I don't know how you got hired.
You can be.
I don't know how you stopped smoking long enough to pass a piss test.
Just work at a company that doesn't do piss tests.
Yep, mine doesn't.
Hey, I went to a very well-off school. Most of them didn't do real drugs. They just drank cheap beer all the time.
Oh. Sounds like the military. Well, that's cleared a flat surface.
Now TNT. Just
It's
cover this whole
dynamite.
surface in TNT.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of lag in that system.
Yeah, we've noticed.
I mean, it's
What
running
lag?
on an NVMe, so it's not data storage. It's all CPU bottlenecked.
Yeah,
Oh, time for a new CPU.
and I'm not quite sure how to fix that.
It's already a fast CPU.
It's the inefficiency of how it runs ticks and processes.
Yeah, but get it going like 5G each, like per core, like
I mean, throwing
overclock it.
throwing more cores at it, I don't think is going to necessarily
No,
fix
I didn't
the
say more
problems with it.
cores. I'm saying faster core.
No, I know what you're saying. I was just referring back to our conversation we were having earlier about it.
No, because I think Bedrock is single core, isn't it?
I mean, it uses multi-cores, but certain tasks seem to be single core.
'Cause I
Like,
guess,
it's maxing out 1 to 2 cores all the time.
Hmm.
But that could be like all those pistons that are running and all the mobs it has to keep track of. I mean, villagers.
Oh yeah, those stupid villagers.
Oh yeah, I bet you those villagers are a bad source of it.
Should I go kill them all?
Just murder them all.
TNT.
Yes. I just
TNT
put
is the
some away
solution to
somewhere.
all problems.
I mean, we haven't even filled it up yet.
Yeah. May not have been the best idea.
I mean, it's a 3.5 gigahertz processor.
Well, that's your problem.
Base.
No. I bet you it's barely ever running at 5 gigahertz. You need to fix that.
5 gigahertz is the minimum.
Yeah.
I
All
wonder
right.
if the
These two
motherboard
villagers are
supports-
slightly frightening me. Why are they just standing in here?
What are?
These villagers.
They might have been babies that growed up.
They're just standing on top of the
Murder.
bed staring at me.
Murder.
Oh, wait till you find the pods that have fucking iron golems in there too. That's even better. They're just like
Murder.
standing on
That
the
explains
bed.
so much. My stream was for some reason like a minute behind. I was like, what villagers? You're still collecting stuff in the water.
Click the live button. That always helps. Even though his delay for me is holy fuck. At
Yeah,
least
the
a
delay
minute.
is pretty bad for me too, but
If I
that's-
reload, is it better? No. Live latency is always 27.7 seconds. The buffer is 25 seconds. Oh, and
yeah,
it
my live
defaulted.
latency is about 33.
Did it default to normal then instead
No,
of...
it defaulted to 480. I think you have an encoding issue.
No,
Maybe
I'm
that's-
getting 2560 by 1440 resolution.
No, but by
60.
default, when I reloaded the screen, it defaulted to 480 for me.
Mine's just been sitting at 720. So
And it's on a 1440 screen, so it should have defaulted to the large.
Sometimes it defaults to a low resolution and then upscale and then brings it up.
It
after
wasn't-
it's tested your connection.
It wasn't changing, it was just stuck there.
I don't know then.
It's perfect, okay? YouTube's perfect.
I was never
Google has
claiming
never
that
had
either.
any issues. Google's perfect.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I work there.
No,
I've
but-
seen the belly of the beast. It's,
The flip side is dealing once again with all the bullshit that Twitch has been pulling, and I would still stick with YouTube.
Yeah,
That's the
I'm
real crux
still-
of it.
Ugh. They're still. We're gonna protect a bunch of white kids. Annoys the crap out of me.
I mean, if they were consistent, it'd be one thing. But banning a bunch of people because they created their accounts before they were 13, regardless of their age now, and then letting bigger content creators like Tommy Innit slide for the exact same reason, you don't really have a system that anyone will trust. Because you're making up rules as you go along and only partially applying
No, they've
them.
been very consistent with if someone's bringing them money, they can do whatever the fuck they want, and everyone else can fuck off.
Yes, money buys
Yep.
status.
They're very consistent with that ruling.
So that's just, it annoys me.
Like just about any of their big streamers can literally just do whatever they want. Like,
Yep.
Small streamer does something slightly off, or a user does the same thing. Nah, peace.
That's how you grow a platform, apparently.
It is. Get rid of all the small people and pay the bigger ones.
You can copy and reuse info from a recently completed stream or create a stream with new settings.
I thought that's what we already established.
Well, I'm setting up for tomorrow's stream.
Oh.
It's quality content, guys.
Quality. yes.
content.
Only the highest quality content.
All right. I'm getting off.
Me too, but I try not to announce it.
Yep. This is why we're friends. You know this, right?
I knew
Alright.
it
So
was
glad
coming.
you're ending your stream to do it, though. Like, that's just
Well-
good for everybody.
There
I
are
wonder.
different websites where you can stream.
Your wife would probably prefer if you go somewhere else to do it, though. She doesn't accidentally want to walk in on that.
Oh, we have too much fun. Fucking love you guys.
I feel like every time he says that, it's just me ripping on him and everyone else laughing.
It's all right. The way it works. All right. Well, either Warzone or PUBG tomorrow then. I'll make sure both are updated.
Alright.
Most likely
What
Warzone
is
again.
Warzone in?
Blizzard?
Yeah, the Blizzard launcher.
I think it's Blizzard.
Or BattleNet.
What? Battle.net, yeah. Blizzard Battle.net.
I haven't opened that in a while, so maybe I should probably.
Something went wrong. The servers are having an issue. Cool. Doesn't say I have an update, so
No, it doesn't look like I got update either. That's
Yep.
good.
check for updates and it said none. So perfect. And then tomorrow there's an update.
Tomorrow they
Probably.
drop a 15 gig patch.
Well,
I mean,
and that's... Wait, I have another NVIDIA update? Well, that's...
The only good thing about BattleNet downloads is it can use my full internet bandwidth.
God, yes, it's so nice.
Like I was downloading at almost a gig.
I think BattleNet, at least if I remember correctly, was one of the first peer-to-peer clients to
Do
use
they
it
use
like
peer-to-peer?
legitimately. I thought Battle.net for a while was using peer-to-peer.
I'll have to hook
I
up.
thought I read something about it, but
I have a 55 gig download for Warzone.
Yeah, you better start that now.
Yeah, because I'll hit like 10 megs a second maybe.
Yeah,
Alright.
and then Steam's is like, oh, you want to download? Well, we're gonna cap you
Ooh,
at 10.
I did break 10 once I closed the YouTubes.
oh,
do this
Blizzard
so
the Blizzard app no longer uses peer-to-peer for downloads since 2015.
Wow.
So they used to, they don't anymore.
I wonder what CDN they're using then.
All right, guys. I'm bailing out for the night. I will be back tomorrow night. We will see
Battle-
you all
Yeah.
then. Play some
Yeah.
Warzone something. So, have a good night. Love you guys. Be safe.
Uh,